Welcome back to the Beast Game Podcast and master of horror, suspense, and thriller, Jay. So let's go through Eli Roth's filmography, and I will ask you about some movies.
Okay.
Eli Roth is known for torture porn.
Yeah.
What did you think of Cabin Fever?
I actually liked Cabin Fever. At the time, the movie was a borderline movie. It was a horror movie, but yeah, it had comedic elements. It wasn't fully funny. I mean, it wasn't like a total comedy. I think it was a movie that you wouldn't take that seriously because there was a part in Cabin Fever where the boy was just doing a fucking kata for no reason and then just happened to bite someone that was infected by the flesh-eating disease, and then he started kirking out. I mean, it was just weird that the kid just started doing a kata. That was just unbelievably insane. He's a serviceable director, and from what you're telling me, he did Death Wish, and it seems like he's trying to branch out and do something a little bit different, which nothing wrong with that. I think a director should try to become more well-rounded and do other things, but if you made your niche in a certain genre, I would suggest perfecting that genre first before you go to do something else.
All right, so moving on, the next major movie that he had done is Hostel. And what's your thoughts on Hostel, James?
Beginning of the whole torture porn subgenre that's in horror. Well, Hellraiser can be considered torture porn, but that was kind of a cult film. But I believe that Hostel probably took it up a notch. Saw is kind of like a torture porn a little bit, but Saw's actually had a pretty decent story behind it.
The Human Centipede.
Human Centipede is like gore and also torture. You consider him one of the pioneers of that subgenre of horror. Thought the movie was pretty good. That's probably the best out of the whole Hostel series. It was good for the time that it came out. It had a little bit of suspense to it. I enjoyed it. He's not a bad director, but to me, he has not perfected horror to do something else. I'll give you a prime example. Like Wes Craven perfected horror. He found his niche in horror, and then he was able to do other movies. And he did other movies well, or maybe he didn't do some well, but he kind of earned the right to try something different.
All right, so let's move on with Eli Roth's background, Hostel 2.
Yes. I mean, he didn't direct that, did he?
Shown as him directing part 2.
Okay. That was actually not a bad movie either. I like the first one better. The second one was just a kind of, I ain't gonna say a reboot, but a rehash of the first one. Just instead of it being just 3 guys, it was just 3 women.
Is it a movie like Wrong Turn or something?
Wrong Turn, yeah. Wrong Turn was the one with Eliza Dushku. Took a wrong turn, and they ended up basically in the backwoods of West Virginia somewhere. Hillbilly Clan or some shit. So, yeah, that was actually kind of... I'll allow it. You can say that's torture porn. I'll allow it.
Eli Roth, The Green Inferno.
With The Green Inferno, I actually thought that The Green Inferno was kind of a homage to Cannibal Holocaust. Like, has some of the same elements. With just Americans going out, getting involved in some shit they probably shouldn't get involved in, and interfering with the life of a tribe. And taking a horrible turn for the worse. So, yeah. So I could see the similarities, and I believe that movie was made as just to pay tribute to that movie. Original movie had a lot of shit with it. Real and so graphic at the time that the filmmakers were actually being prosecuted, broken some laws for animal cruelty, and the actual director was up for murder charges or some shit at one point because they thought the people actually died, like the people that were actually filmed. So that... Also, with the Cannibal Holocaust, that was also the first real found footage film, first mainstream found footage film. Like, it wasn't Blair Witch, it wasn't The Last Broadcast, it was Cannibal Holocaust. It was to the point that, like I said, when the movie was done, the actors that were in the movie were told by the director, stay low, people gonna think you're dead, and they actually did. That's why charges got brought up, but charges got brought up for a lot of other things as well. That movie has a really dark, bad history.
And what about Knock Knock?
Knock Knock, kind of a twist on the invasion horror series. Like when I say invasion, like home invasion, something like Just Strangers, something like that. Or The Collector, movies like that had to do with home invasions and being terrorized. So that movie was actually pretty decent. It was fucked up.
So this is according to IMDb. They are calling splatter film and also torture porn. They do credit Eli Roth with Hostel, Then it says some stuff about Saw, and then The Devil's Rejects and Wolf's Creek.
Yeah, Devil's Rejects. Yes and no, that's Rob Zombie.
And,
yes and no. Wolf Creek, yeah.
And then also...
but that wasn't... I saw bits and pieces of that movie. I never really fully finished it. I'm not saying it was a bad movie. I just didn't really have much of interest in it. Devil's Rejects definitely has some things on it.
All right, yeah. So then it also has Teresa's House of Wax.
House of Wax with Paris Hilton in it. Moving on.
Black Christmas.
The new Black Christmas. They consider that torture porn?
Yes.
No.
All right. So, My Bloody Valentine 3D.
No.
Okay.
Let me explain the whole term of torture porn. Who created this list that you're looking at?
This is on IMDb.
They need to be checked. Torture porn
film is a subgenre of horror, graphic portrayals of gore and violence.
Right.
Displaying fascination with the vulnerability of the human body. The term splatter cinema was coined by George A. Romero to describe his film Dawn of the Dead.
All right. That's an accurate definition of torture porn, but the movies that you say that are listed as torture porn?
Well, let me finish this. So it says in the cinema, late 2000s, early aughts, torture porn or Gorno.
Gorno, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, but go ahead, James.
What you just said, that's an accurate definition. Dude, no. Those movies, hell no. Especially not no damn House of Wax. That movie was fucking horrible. That was a horrible movie. You said they just counted for the last 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Another movie that is past 20 years, definitely be on that list, is fucking Hellraiser. Hellraiser definitely fits that definition to a T. So yeah, House of Wax, no. What else they named, Barry?
Ichi the Killer?
Ichi the Killer, yes. Definitely. That's definitely a torture porn. Yes, Lord Jesus, yeah. Fucking Audition.
Yeah, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2003 one. That borders. Yeah. The Hills Have Eyes.
Yes.
The Last House on the Left.
No.
Spit on Your Grave.
Yes.
Okay.
That's revenge and torture. Another movie that can be considered somewhat torture porn, has torture porn elements in it, is Seven.
Yeah, that's more a psychological thriller, but...
Definitely more of a psychological thriller, but it has torture porn elements in it. And to be honest with you, a lot of movies do have torture porn elements in it, but to be classified as a torture porn film, it has to be majority. For it to be fully in that genre, it has to be the main theme of the movie. Reanimator can be considered torture porn if you really want to be technical, but it's not really, but it has elements of that in there. Decapitations, fingers being lost, dismemberment, period.
All right, so that is Eli Roth's directorial filmography by Jay, Master of Horror, Suspense, and Thriller.